There's a pattern people keep whispering about, but nobody wants to say out loud. Over the past few decades, clusters of scientists, brilliant, specialized, often working at the edge of discovery, have died under circumstances that feel off. Some ruled suicides, some accidents, some never fully explained, and when you line them up, not cherry-picked, but documented, you start to feel that quiet tension between coincidence and something more deliberate. Think back to the wave of deaths tied to defense and tech sectors in the 1980s, the so-called GEC Marconi scientists in the UK, dozens of experts working on sensitive military projects, many found dead within a short span. Official explanations? Mental health struggles, isolated incidents, tragic but unrelated, maybe. But the clustering raised eyebrows then still does now. Fast forward, and the names change, the fields evolve, but the unease sticks around. So what are we looking at? A real phenomenon or a pattern our brains are desperate to connect? Because here's the truth. Scientists operate in high-pressure worlds. They deal with classified information, billion-dollar stakes, political consequences, and discoveries that can shift power globally. That environment alone creates risk, mental, professional, and sometimes physical. But there's another layer, the one that keeps this topic alive. When knowledge becomes power and power becomes leverage, what happens to the people holding that knowledge? Is it a coincidence that some of these deaths orbit defense, intelligence, biotech, and energy, fields where breakthroughs don't just change lives, they change who's in control? Or are we seeing something simpler? Burnout, isolation, institutional pressure, human systems failing the very minds they depend on. We're not here to jump to conclusions. We're here to walk the line between documented fact and unanswered questions, and the stories that grow in the space between them. Because sometimes the truth isn't hidden in a grand conspiracy. Sometimes it's buried under layers of silence, complexity, and just enough coincidence to keep you guessing. And the most dangerous question isn't what happened. It's who benefits when nobody looks too closely.
Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Stoney.
Hello.
And Jason.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
Well, doing pretty good. I bit the bullet and bought a new car.
Really? Oh, you did?
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to see it when you pulled
Yeah,
up.
well, it's out there. So,
Yeah.
yes, I did it. And, my car was, it was like 13 years old. And
Yeah.
it was really on its last leg. I had really, I think, squeezed every bit of dollar
Yeah.
I could get out of that car. And,
good,
of
dude.
course, my wife is... was like, Jason, it's
time.
It's time for a new car. It's not like you can't afford it. You can go get another car. So we started looking, and I really was leaning toward a Toyota Highlander. That's kind of where I was going. But I was so disappointed that Toyota has now dropped the 6-cylinder and has gone to the four-cylinder turbo. And I'm just like, I'm not doing, because the previous car I had was a 4-cylinder turbo, and I've said, I'm not doing that again.
Okay.
I'm just not. I'm not driving another 4-cylinder car. So I started looking around, and lo and behold, Honda has managed to hang on to the V6. And I said, let me go check Honda out. So I saw, little utility vehicle, sport utility vehicle, the Passport, and I test drove it, and I was really looking for a specific interior for that car, because I didn't like the one that was on the lot. I said, look, I'm looking for the sunset orange with the brown interior, which is a two-tone interior. It's really
nice.
Really sharp.
Yeah.
And he goes, man, that's kind of, there ain't too many are made like that. Well, about Wednesday, because I test drove him on Saturday.
Okay.
So that Wednesday, I get a call.
Of course.
He goes,
I got one.
you're not going to believe this. He goes, And they said, this is simply by chance. We didn't order this.
Okay.
Because there's 3 cars coming to the dealership from the factory in Alabama.
Okay.
One of those cars on there is a sunset orange with the brown interior. So you got to be kidding me. I said, when it gets there,
let me know.
Hold it.
Yeah.
So
you made that deal today. I bet.
On Friday,
like, yes.
on Friday, I went to the local dealership, one of the Honda dealerships near my house, and I have to say I hate buying cars.
Oh, 100%.
I will tell you, it's one of the most stressful events. I feel like you can go through, because every time I feel like I'm just getting screwed.
Yes.
And probably you are to some degree.
Well, that's their job,
But-
is to screw you.
But-
The whole point of their job is to screw
look,
you out of your money.
And I get that they're there to make money, and you got to pay people, and I understand that. That's jobs for people. So I said, look, and I had a conversation. He goes, look, and just because of what I did before, he goes, look, with you, he says, look, I'm gonna show you the invoice.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the car costs.
Yeah.
He goes, we do 2% over invoice for you because of what I used to be.
Okay.
And so it's a little special deal.
Nice.
I said, he pulls out sheet. We sit down. We all talk about it. Pulls out the sheet. Look at the invoice, because I know what the invoice and what was on the sticker on the car.
Yeah.
And then we started wheeling and dealing. And by the time we were finished, 5 hours later.
5 hours?
5 hours.
My goodness.
I drove off the lot with that car. And I thought I got a pretty decent price for what I wanted. Probably could have wiggled them down a little bit more, probably so, but it comes to a point where it's like, I'm financing this thing over 5 years, so it doesn't really matter. So I drove off on Friday in a downpour, because if you recall, that Friday the weather was terrible. So I drove off the lot with a brand new automobile.
There you go.
And I love it. It's me, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the purchase. So
I love a Honda. Not gonna lie,
they're very reliable.
I like 'em.
They rank right up there
out
with
of the two
with
that I've
Toyotas
owned.
as far as reliability and
Yeah.
long term value. But I'm literally, it's because of the V6.
Okay.
I'm so disappointed, and I'm worried about next year that the pressure is going to be on Honda to drop the V6 and go
Yeah.
to a 4-cylinder, because they're all doing that.
Yeah.
I
For
mean,
fuel
it's
efficiency
just
and
it's just gone crazy. So they still have the traditional V6 direct injection,
Yeah, all the stuff.
just kind of tried and true type of engine, and so I got it, and of course now I'm doing all my little accessories and things I want to do on it.
Get the
and-
Bluetooth connected. All this.
Oh yeah, I'll get all that.
Right.
But I was disappointed that they did not have actually Cirrus or XM radio actually as part
Built
of
into it?
built into it. No.
Really?
Honda dropped that some actually a while back. I didn't realize that, but they
Interesting.
yeah.
Unfortunate. I don't know. I don't know if that's a.
So you have to do it through your
phone.
the app
Yeah.
that you can stream XM that way, but they don't have it kind of hardwired into the car like my previous car had it.
Yeah.
I keep reading some articles. They say satellite radios it's kind of going the way of the dinosaur.
Really?
Yeah, they're saying that's starting to fade out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm saying why. I mean, especially if you're out west,
Because it's
in the mountains.
expensive. When you think about what you're getting, it's kind of expensive. I had it for a while, and I'm just not paying that kind of money. And I had it, and they came out with this little module that you could bring and put it in your car, or you could bring and put it in your bedroom or something.
Right.
And they were offering it, and I was like, okay, I'll renew my policy if you give me one of those. And they wouldn't do it. And I says, then cancel my policy.
Yeah.
If you're not going to make it easy for me to listen to you,
Right.
I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
And so I never went back to them, and just.
And I guess the setup that is now that I can just stream it from the app on my phone is fine as long as you've got good connection. But to me, if you're out west in mountains and stuff like that,
it's
where
satellite, you shouldn't have a problem, right?
Well, but with an app, you're not really dealing with satellite.
Well, it's Bluetooth from your phone to the
Yeah,
car
but
you're in
But
it.
he's saying if you lose cell phone
if
service,
you
you're
lose
going to lose
cell
your
phone-
connection to the radio as
So
well.
at least with satellite,
Yeah.
as long as you can see
communicating,
the
yeah.
sky, I mean, you're good to go. But
That's true.
so I don't. I mean, that's kind of. I don't know what's going on.
What year is your car?
That's 2026.
2026. Did
you
it
got
come
the-
with a subscription to use the auto start?
I don't
No,
think so.
That's next year. Then.
that's 2027.
That's 2027.
Because we had talked about that. So yeah, that's going to be the new mandated stuff from the feds.
If you want to use your auto start, you need to pay for a subscription. If you want to do this, you're going to have a subscription. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, it's so I'm happy. So the wife is happy.
That's good.
Well, there you go. As long as she's happy.
She's comfortable and something we can take a trip in and not be driving in a go-kart.
There you go.
Boy, my other car had gotten down to. My probably biggest mistake when I retired, I probably should have just simply at the time, when all my cash out, my money was given to me, I should have just simply took out whatever I needed and just bought a car then, which is what I had said I was going to do, but I didn't do. So, but
Well, here we are.
But here we are.
That's okay.
So,
Nice.
but yeah, this
Sounds like it'd be a good episode title. Well, here we are.
Yeah, well, here we are.
this topic, guys. I'm telling you, this stuff has been all over the place. I just, it's amazing. I think really this stuff started really kind of, I saw creeping up about in 2022.
Really?
Well, this kind of stuff's been creeping around since the Cold War.
Yeah.
This isn't a new topic. This is not anything new with the Russians, with their plutonium pellets and being able, this is nothing new. This is just a new storyline in it for today's society. But this has been going on for decades and decades.
Well, I think there was a pretty high-ranking guy that in the Air Force that
A major general.
that went. I think that's really what kind of busted this story. Was like, okay, what happened with this guy now? I mean, this guy was a William Neal McCaslin.
Yes. And he's from a former Air Force Research Laboratory and aerospace research leader.
Yeah.
And he went missing February 27th of this year. And he vanished near Albuquerque. He said his wallet, his gun, he left them. His phone, prescription glasses, and wearable devices were left behind also. But he had reportedly cited a number of times, leaving several research groups, of having some type of mental fog. And if you remember, our embassy in Cuba, where they were shooting those rays into the embassy, causing people to have memory lapses and headaches and all kind of stuff. You got to wonder what was going on there, because it sounds like our old buddy Brandon talking about this kind of stuff too. Kind of wish he'd have been on this show. That might kind of been interesting.
Well, it because a lot of the stuff that we still receive from him touches on a lot of this kind of stuff, and it's actually a bit frightening to think that. I find it funny that this guy disappears about a week after Trump said that we're going to declassify all this UAP.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just wondering if there's a connection there, if there are forces within the military-industrial complex that doesn't want any of this information out. I mean, they've had hearings in Congress. We've all seen that on TV. You can pull up the actual testimonies that they have actually recovered biologicals, non-human biologicals. How people can say that we're the only thing in the universe, I don't understand. I saw another article where this pastor, I don't know if y'all caught this or not,
Yes.
mentioned something he has been prepped to warn all the religious people out there that information is going to be coming out that's going to shake their faith, that we are not alone in the universe, that there is non-human intelligence, and how that psychologically will impact people. Now, I've seen some friends of mine who are also very religious who have come out and said, well, the government is fixing to engage in a great deception. And you know,
I was fixing to bring that up.
And I'm going to let you kind of run with that, but we've kind of talked about that a little bit. So, I mean, Stoney, what do you, I mean?
Well, when I started researching this, and you look at what some of these people do, they're all astro researchers, astrophysicists. These are the people that could openly debunk something. And we talked about it on a show, and pardon me for my TBI, I can't remember the episode that we talked about, that they've been planning since Vietnam and before, being able to come in with AI and all of these special effects and bring in God.
Right.
Where you would hear God in your own language, where you would, and when I heard this pastor come through and say these things, that was the first thing that popped into my head, that is this the great situation of where they're going to try to bring in something and fake everybody into getting this control that we've been talking about for months now. And it looks like all the people that are missing, and there's way more missing than are just dead. We're talking about the dead ones today, but I got a list of the missing ones too, and it's significant. And it's all from astrophysicists, jet propulsion laboratories, not counting the medical people that are missing and dead too.
I was following, listening to a podcast regarding on this topic. They mentioned somebody in the medical field that had developed a way of removing the white blood cells from the body. These are people that were in stage 4 cancer. A way of removing the white blood cells from the body, in essence, reprogram the cells, and then inject them back into the to the host again, and then that way they would then start attacking cancer cells, basically like your immune system attacks a foreign object, which would, in essence, be the cure for cancer.
I think a cure for cancer.
Because then ultimately that's really what cancer is.
The hard part about I've heard a lot about that stuff as well, and that's the hard part about that's the hard part about cancer, is that there's cancer can be in any part of your body, and every different strain is something specifically different to cater to that. But like that kind of stuff you're talking about, I've heard a lot about that as well, and how like that's like a new thing that's coming out that like can at least could be the cure for like a couple different types of cancer, which is interesting to think
and
about.
then he ends up dead. I mean, it's just,
which is crazy,
you know. And we've mentioned it on the podcast. Other people that have developed, you know, engines that can run on water and stuff like this. That, you know, things that if really brought to would completely transform. It would transform the world. I mean, think of Nikola Tesla. We've talked about him with his universal energy. And if you can tap into the actual air and just draw power out of it, I mean, how does that transform the world? I mean, it completely just changes the paradigm.
Well, you take away the control of people. And that was Project Bluebeam. I had to look at it. It's a confirmed government project. This is not conspiracy theory. This is not anything. This is a confirmed project that the U.S. government and other governments have been gearing up for this. And then remember, that's when they were talking about all these drone sightings. And now you see all these drones are able to do these fantastic images and things.
Well, I think some of these UAP sightings, which I think the problem is some of this is where the people that are pushing for disclosure. Matter of fact, if you followed Steven Spielberg is fixing to release a movie called Disclosure.
Yeah.
I find that funny that how this works, that a movie is fixing to come out regarding UAPs and this whole alien thing and all this. And I know there's a lot of people out there, I know some of our listeners out there that find this talk of aliens very offensive because it undermines their belief in God and it kind of understanding the creation of the earth and just kind of the standard biblical narrative that a lot of Christians follow, word for word. So this sort of talk makes people like that nervous, which is what this pastor, I found that interesting, that supposedly he and some number of high-ranking pastors have been kind of brought into this kind of meeting to let them know what's coming. I've often wondered what would full disclosure look like. I mean, I had to say go all the way back to the Close Encounters of the Third God, which is a great movie.
That was a great movie.
That was a great movie.
Great movie.
But I mean, I think it was ahead of its time. And kind of showing, is there something else out there? And it appears from the reports that, yes, there is something that is definitely unexplained.
There's always something unexplained. Human nature, and this is an aspect I was going to kind of get into, there's always something unexplained. It's just gotten bigger over time. Before it was the dark, before it was a shadow, before it was this, before it was something simple. Well, now we know what the shadows are. We know what the small things are. The next thing has to be the universe. But the human brain works in a certain fashion that it hates coincidence. And I'm kind of wondering, are these cases truly connected? Or are we looking for these patterns because we hate coincidence? Is that the next phase that the human brain is going through where we're going, hey, okay, I don't like this. It doesn't make sense to me. I need to put this together so that I can understand it. And is that where a lot of these conspiracies come from? Because right now, that's what we're looking at. If you look at the list of these people that have been killed, it's a vast difference in a lot of them. But, well, one was by an accident. 10 of them were by accidents. This was murder. Well, a lot of times accidents can be used to murder somebody.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Some of them are just outright, plain murder. Well, okay, how do you know somebody wasn't trained or geared or made to go do something like this? Is it real coincidence or is something really happening? Well, I want to look at that aspect. What do y'all think? Is it our brains trying to put this together or is something really happening?
I think if enough things happen that catches your attention, I think it's only natural for, as rational creatures, to try to make sense. And how we go about making sense of something.
Well, humans have always chased shadows because they want to, like you said, they want to make sense of it. So is the internet drawing the lines for us, or are we really just chasing another shadow?
I just think we're exposed to a whole lot more information now than we were before. I mean, think about it.
But that doesn't necessarily mean a good thing.
Well,
that can be more confusing.
I agree, but
too.
I mean, think about it. I mean, what the average person as a kid, I mean, I'm just thinking of my own childhood, of what I was exposed to on a day-to-day basis.
I can't think that far back. So,
I mean... I mean, other than what you heard on the 30 minutes
Walter Cronkite
of the news, I mean, that was it.
And then you find out that Walter Cronkite was a CIA operative.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. But
I think that humans recognize patterns. That's, I think, something that's been very proven, is that I think humans like to find patterns, even in things that there are no patterns in.
That don't even have
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think also, I don't think that we believe, I think that humans have a bad way of interpreting randomness. So like true randomness could be 4 of the same things in a row. But we would say, no, that's not random, because it feels like it's ordered, because we see a pattern.
Right.
And so, like, I'm not saying that's what this is, but you could have 12 individuals, like you said, coincidentally, all by accident or on purpose or whatever, pass away, that are all in the field of science, and that could be truly random. The universe could have randomly, in the past 2-3 years, killed off these people because of accidents, because of whatever else may have happened, and that could be random. But we would be like, there's a pattern here, and then we would put our own understanding on it. That, I think, is also something that's very, I would believe that. But also, again, I'm not to say that that's what's happening here. I think there is something suspicious happening here. But what I'm saying is, like, there is, like, as humans, that's what I think we. That's why Spotify doesn't have like true random shuffle.
Right.
It's tailored.
There's an algorithm behind it.
It's a tailored shuffle to make it feel like it's more random.
Y'all remember when computers were coming out? One of the big things that popped out early was the true, and I'm using quotes for the listeners, random number generators.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
No,
the true random number generators. That was a big thing, because they didn't know if they could even do it, and then all of a sudden, boom, there it is. Mm-hmm. Pick a number. Do you want 3 numbers? Do you want 15? Just random numbers. And it's like, okay, really? Is that random? Or...
And true random, you could have randomly generate 1 through 15, and that is like a random encounter where it's like
it could happen.
And we would look at that and go, "That's not random.
That's not random.
That's pretty ordered to me." Yeah. But I think that could be the case. But then I also think that. I don't know.
I think the only way you really reach probably true random, I mean, we all know right now computers are, is it ones and zeros?
Yeah.
Well, and you get into the quantum world, where
right.
1 can be a 1 or 0. I think that's
or
where,
both. Yeah.
Or both.
Yeah.
At the same, depending
sounds
on
like core math to me.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It sounds like core math.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, my algebra wasn't that great. So, but
I mean, you have to think about it though. This was we're talking about that major general. How does a major general just disappear?
Right.
I mean, I needed to research. I'm sorry, but I wanted to research into him a little further. Was he retired? Mm-hmm. Was he still an active general? Because if he was an active major general, he had people around him. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't just go on a hike somewhere.
No,
you got subordinates to talk to.
If you're in this situation where with this type of clearance and the work that he was doing in aerospace,
you're not allowed to just disappear.
You don't just walk away.
Right.
Yeah, he actually goes back a long way with a lot of things, especially with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which is tied in. If everybody kind of remembers that, that's where Project Blue Book was based out of.
Somebody just mentioned that one.
Project Blue Book.
Project Blue Book, and some other stuff came out of there too.
And I think
that's supposedly where the remains of Roswell ascent.
Yeah. I think that's also the fun thing, especially with like human beings and conspiracy theory. And I've said this in the podcast before, that I feel like the place where conspiracy theory thrives is where there's just enough truth, but not all of it is revealed. If there's just enough truth to a situation, if we have just enough facts about a situation, but you don't know the full picture, I feel like that's where conspiracy theories like take that, and then that's where the human mind can just go off. Like, so this kind of situation, we have just enough facts. There's like some things that are tied together, but maybe not really. And I feel like there's like, there's just enough area of that where it's like, we don't have like definitive proof of everything or of all that kind of, or whatever else may happen. Then of course, that's all it takes is just that. And then a group of people.
Well, that's when you
just
start
like
chasing
feel
those
that.
shadows.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We start feeling it and start, maybe it's this.
Trying
what if
to
it's
make
that?
it into
What
a
if it's
pattern
this?
we can understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there was even some people that were administrative.
Yeah.
That are missing or unalive,
Well,
so to
right.
speak.
Yeah.
And I mean, what would an administrative person, unless they're working for somebody that could see some of the real interesting stuff,
what did they know?
What did they see? What did they
right.
overhear?
Yeah.
And then why would you do that?
Well, as I said, I mean, one of these guys is actually somebody in kind of in our own backyard here.
Okay.
Yeah, Joshua LeBlanc. He's one of these guys
Okay.
that are tied with this group of missing people working on very sensitive issues. He's 29 years old. He died in a fiery crash
Yeah,
in his Tesla on July 22nd,
I heard about that.
2025. And it said it happened in Huntsville, Alabama, where he was working.
Mm-hmm.
And his body was burned beyond recognition. So
Or was it his body?
well,
Dun,
that's
dun, dun.
that's well. I mean, the fact of the matter is, they are.
You got to think about it like this. If you want to disappear,
Yeah.
if you want to truly disappear, a burning Tesla is the way to go because there's very little that's hotter than that. Once it gets going,
Yeah.
you're going to destroy everything. You're going to clean everything.
Yeah.
So was it really his body?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they said his family told KLFY that they feared that he had been abducted,
Whoa.
and they had that he had left his phone and wallet in his home at the time of his disappearance. That to me makes me a little makes me kind of like
Does
just
that sound familiar to Major General?
yeah.
He
What
left
is it?
his
You know
stuff.
why? Because you can track somebody with a phone.
Yeah.
So, but
But what if they're all being co-opted into a secret organization? This, you see what I'm saying? This is more my conspiracy. Hold on. While I
100%
get
agree
my
with you.
tinfoil hat. Hold on 1 second. What if they're all disappearing or being
Was that a
offed?
movie? What was that movie?
What you mean?
Okay.
What you mean?
There was a movie that came out that was it Samuel L. Jackson? No, it was who was it? Who started kidnapping all of these scientists and stuff because he wanted to do this new world order.
Let's see.
And what was the name of that movie?
Continue. I'll look it up. Let's see.
Man, I can't remember. I think it was Samuel L. Jackson. And and he started kidnapping scientists, and they started putting all these little things in their head to make them explode, and
Oh gosh.
it was crazy. Oh shoot, what was the name of that movie? But that's what it was about.
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
You know,
well, they say with LeBlanc, the police tracked LeBlanc down using the data from his Tesla Sentry mode and found that his vehicle sat at the airport in Huntsville for 4 hours on the morning of his death. His family said his trip west was not part of his plan for the day and that uncharacteristically he was not communicating with them. A LinkedIn page for LeBlanc said he worked at NASA for about 5.5 years and he was a team lead for NASA's Space Nuclear Propulsion Instrumentation and Control Maturation.
Kingsman, secret, the Secret Service.
Yeah, I see that right here.
Mm-hmm.
It was a handful of movies that popped up. And that's why I was trying to figure out some of them being James Bond movies, and I was like, I don't think that's what he's talking about.
It was actually kind of a cute little movie.
Okay,
but it was something.
Well,
But that's what it dealt with.
Yeah, yeah.
Kidnapping scientists and starting this super organization.
yeah.
another famous one that made a lot of news on the social media was Amy Eskridge. She worked in Huntsville. She was involved with advanced propulsion, aerospace, defense adjacent research. It's funny about her. She had made claims that her life was in danger.
But then
Something was
she supposedly committed suicide.
Yeah, it says her death was officially ruled a suicide. However, allegations later surfaced from former intelligence-linked figures claiming she believed she was being targeted. And it's funny because she talks about some of the same things happening to her to what the soldiers that were guarding Maduro mentioned that was happening to them, which is interesting. She talks about directed energy weapons.
Oh yeah.
So
I remember that. Yeah.
I have a feeling that we probably have been having directed energy weapons for quite some time.
Her field was anti-gravity and exotic physics claims.
Yes.
Okay. So when you're looking at astrophysics and all of this, you're always looking at anti-gravity. All of these things meld together. All of these things are kind of intertwined. That may be an interesting subject for a future podcast on how closely intertwined are that. But if you look at that, this is a researcher, and that's her specialty.
Yep. And future tech.
Future tech, absolutely.
Right. That's crazy.
Well, it says here, I'm reading an article in the Irish Sun.
Okay.
It says the department's chief technology officer, Emil Michael, revealed the tech in a chilling X post on Monday. It says directed energy weapons are a fine addition to our arsenal. The post read alongside an image showing laser-style beam firing as a soldier clutched his head in pain, which is what exactly happened to what these soldiers that were guarding Maduro, while all of a sudden they were completely incapacitated and couldn't do nothing. So they say, according to the post, directed energy weapons use concentrated electromagnetic energy or atomic and subatomic particles to disable drones, electronic systems, and even enemy troops.
They're microwaving their brains.
They're microwaving their brains.
That's right.
That's scary.
Yeah, she goes, one of the most high-profile figures to allegedly sound the alarm was scientist Amy Eskridge, who researched anti-gravity system, UFOs, and extraterrestrial life. She goes, Eskridge from her Huntsville, Alabama, recently told associates she had been attacked inside her own home with a directed energy weapon shortly before her death in 2022. She was not directly employed by NASA, but had several significant ties to the agency through her family and her research in Huntsville.
I'm going to say it here on the record. I'm no longer going to go into jet propulsion or aerospace anymore. I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
another guy worked for JPL from 1998 to 2022 and died shortly after he left. And he died and his name is Michael David Hicks. He worked for JPL, and he specialized in asteroids, comets, DART, deep space, all kind of things.
I think I read up on him as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
But his cause of death has never been publicly released.
Oh.
3 to 4 years later. Hello.
Yeah, I see him right here.
How does that not pop up?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, if he was shot, we could release that. If he had a heart attack, we could release that. Why 3 years later have we not put his official?
Because he's being nabbed up by the.
I think these.
By the what you call it?
I think these people start talking.
Yeah.
And basically there are people out there who does not want to know, doesn't want this information put out there, because the fact of the matter is, if you have this stuff and no one else does,
right,
then what it does, your enemies don't even know where you're at, and they don't realize they're 15 steps behind you.
Yeah.
When it comes to stuff, because, I mean, I think what happened in Venezuela was a wake-up call.
Yeah.
For the world. And I think that's basically saying, if we want to get rid of you, we'll get rid of you.
Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. What kind of power and leverage that gives you.
We'll pick you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to just basically, incapacitate everybody around you.
Yeah.
There'll be nobody there to save you. So, I think DARPA's doing work.
Yeah.
And I just think these people are, I think once you kind of in the know,
oh yeah,
in essence, you become dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You become real dangerous.
Especially if you start talking.
Especially if you start talking. And I think that, which tells me if, now I'm beginning to wonder about these. Remember the episode during President Biden's administration where they had these balloons floating over the United States and nobody was doing a thing about it? I wonder what that was all about. Why did they allow that to just
happen?
So
in the research that I was doing, a number of people that work for JPL their deaths have not been released. A number of people. I got a list of like 15 people just from JPL that are dead, and 5 of them, none of their things have been released. And that's just like in the last maybe 15 years. I've dared to go back even further.
Right.
But that was just over the last couple of years, and it's significant. But why aren't they releasing those things?
I wonder, my mind also goes to a place of like some of these big organizations possibly getting new people in these fields, and, you know, instead of just retiring you, they retire you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like
I
you become a liability.
I just think that
They
mean,
declare you red.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like once you kind of know it's there,
yeah. You're a liability.
you're a liability
To them.
unless you're in. It's like you once you're in, you never leave.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sort
you know
of.
what red is, right? Retired, extremely dangerous.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
once you get retired,
Yeah,
once you go red,
Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah, once you're
That's
you're
it.
aware of these sort of things, and
It reminds me of like
You're-
old movies I've seen of like The Mob, where it's like once you're in, like
You're
there's
never-
there's no getting out of
called,
it.
Yeah.
It's called
Yeah.
blood in, blood out.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you never really get out. But
Yeah,
I mean, they've got other names here. Monica Jacinto Riza is another
But maybe
one.
I'm sorry, but maybe what if like this is a new version of like witness protection program? Like they're not releasing the deaths because like they're not really dead. They just got relocated or
Look,
something. Maybe
it may be.
I don't know, just hypothetical.
The question is, could these be foreign actors doing this?
Yeah, you're right.
Could be.
Yeah.
I could see a number. I could see Russia or China
Yeah.
or Iran or any of our countries that hate us
Yeah.
would want to kill these people.
Or were they plants? Like how many of them are missing? How many have we discussed? Like Anthony Chavez. He was a Los Alamos National Laboratory employee who disappeared May 8th, 2025. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Wallet, keys, personal items, and locked car were left behind. No signs of forced entry or struggle were reported. What if they're just pulling their people back?
Yeah.
Get whatever information you can, and we're going to get you out of there. The guy who into the Tesla.
Yeah.
Was that a homeless person's body, and whatever country took him back to where they needed to, and now they're doing that.
Yeah. And what I was saying was like, what if it is like that's the new version of like a witness protection program sort of thing? You got this-
Melissa Casillas, missing June 26th. She was another Los Alamos National. All right. Missing June 26, 2025. Last seen walking alone in Taos County, New Mexico. Her car and belongings were found at home. All of her personal and work phones have been factory reset.
And a lot of times, sometimes these bodies are quickly, it seems, quickly cremated.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Quick
find
turnaround.
It's a quick turn. I hate to say it. What else? If I'm not mistaken, Charlie Kirk, his body was quickly.
Oh, they did that within hours.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you.
yeah.
I hate to say it, but I think there's a lot more there than what. I don't think people are going to like what they might hear.
All right.
On that, I think it's. I would not surprise me if there were foreign actors involved with that. I really do, and I don't want to go there because it might offend people.
That is a much bigger topic.
I think that's. I think there's something there to that, but we'll just let that lie.
Yeah. I cut you off a second ago about you were saying something before I got
talking about I was just some of the names I've pulled up. Monica Jacinto Riza.
Okay.
She was in advanced materials, aerospace engineering, and Air Force funded alloys. Said Riza reportedly disappeared while hiking in California. She had worked in advanced materials processing at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory and reportedly held patents linked to Air Force funded research. Said her disappearance became widely discussed online because of her alleged professional ties to McCaskill.
Okay.
McCaslin, the other one we just talk about. They said no confirmed connection has been publicly established. Well, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think she's the one that may be involved with actually creating a material that allows these rockets to escape the Earth's atmosphere. You know, for the longest time, I didn't realize this. We were actually using Russian rockets to get us out of the atmosphere. They were ahead of us in that regard. And I think I think she might have been the one that might have developed a material that allowed it. I don't know if it's her, but it's going to be one of these people we're talking about.
Yeah.
That was involved with actually creating the material that allowed us to actually not have to use rockets from Russia.
Yeah.
Another one was Steven Garcia. He's been missing since 2025. Says
The crazy thing is how recent a lot of these are.
Yeah. Garcia was described in reports as a contractor connected to sensitive government-related work who disappeared under unclear circumstances. Much of the discussion around his case comes from speculative media coverage rather than official disclosures.
But he had a high-level clearance and left behind his vehicle, personal effects.
Okay.
All right, you see, we got a pattern here.
What do you call? What do you
chasing his shadow?
What do you call it whenever you have like a serial killer that like leaves behind
I think I can easily see a mysterious group, or some actors that are not so good, know how this game is played, know how to set the scene, knows how all about plausible deniability, can lay it out to make it look like just some, this or that, and basically because they know they can't take the phone because phones can be tracked. So basically they come snatch you up. They keep you, they drop all that stuff, and and all of a sudden you hear stories. Well, his keys were there, his phone was there, some weird's going on. So yeah, I mean, I know that's it's hard to go there because then you doubt everything. But people have to understand there are groups of people that are professionals at this, and can make this happen and make it look like any other normal deal. So. Just understand that. Don't completely close your mind off to it. That there are people who do this and are pretty good at it.
Oh yeah, they were pretty good at it probably 20 years ago,
and now we're they've probably been good at it for longer than 20 years.
Well, but I'm talking about making someone completely in the digital age disappear.
In our modern technological world, we're more tracked now than ever. So
and they got ways of making you.
I mean, between watches and phones and even glasses or whatever the case may be.
Well, you got to think about it. Everything has serial numbers now and tracking devices. Silicon boobies have serial numbers on them. I mean, my lenses, the new toric lenses that I have in my eyes have serial numbers on them.
Really?
Yeah, so if something were to happen to me, they could always identify
they can
me
look
supposedly
up
by my serial number.
I was going to say they could look up your part in the system.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm going to go to O'Reilly's and get myself some new toric lenses.
Here's another one that's kind of out of the this is more in the biotech arena, but this one kind of predates. This was killed in 2020. Bing Liu. Or if I'm pronouncing it,
sounds like an agent to me.
Liu. If I'm sorry if I'm not Liu or how that sounds. But because although outside the requested, outside this 2022 time frame, say Liu is often included in discussions about scientists dying mysteriously. So he was at the University of Pittsburgh. He was researching, studying COVID-19 mechanisms.
Cellular mechanisms.
And was shot and killed in what investigators describe as a murder-suicide, unrelated to his research. So speculation online exploded because colleagues said he was close to significant findings.
You got to add that particular word in there, cellular.
Yeah. So
he got whacked for sure.
Question is, what would he have found that would have warranted him dying? You know
how history would have been different if he would have.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, the whole COVID thing, and
Oh my gosh,
I
yeah.
mean, look, I've seen some stuff regarding COVID, which I've taken the COVID shot,
yeah.
so whatever's in that shot's in me.
What's the half-life of that shot?
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Yeah.
I think it affects people differently.
Yeah.
And I can only hope that I won't suffer
Yeah.
too debilitating events.
Right.
I hope I don't suffer any, but I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Hopefully you won't get the hantavirus.
Hopefully I won't get the hantavirus.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's we're in strange territory here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enough, and I think this is all tied in with this UAP disclosure, and I think this is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, but this has been happening before President Trump announced that full disclosure.
Right.
This has been going on for years.
Right. Yeah. I think the idea that, what was discovered at Roswell, where witnesses saw alien bodies being hauled off. There's too many people have come forward and said that for them to just all be lying. I just don't understand what people would gain, considering obviously if you talk too much, you're going to get whacked. I don't know why people would lie about that. I truly don't. To invite that sort of scrutiny on them, especially if these are people that are in the know.
Yeah.
And so
it's kind of like that researcher or whatever said. He was talking about the apostles of Christ. How badly their lives were. If you think, like Jason said, you're going to bring that scrutiny onto yourself, all 12 disciples pretty much died horrible deaths, and none of them ever stopped saying what they believed.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many people coming out today that say this and basically have their lives utterly destroyed. Even back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I saw a UFO. Well, you were the town clown. That's the one who was sexually touched by aliens or something. Yeah. You were a joke. Why would somebody come out, this many people, and say that knowing this could now obviously can maybe even get you killed?
Well, I mean, do y'all remember the movie Fire in the Sky?
Yes.
And that was a true story of some loggers I believe in Washington, I believe.
Okay.
That they witnessed one of their, coworkers literally get abducted, and it's a very interesting movie. Matter of fact, the movie closes with they all passed lie detector tests. That they all claimed what they saw is what they saw.
Yeah,
and from what I've read, that. And just kind of, I know this is kind of going out there, people, so just be patient with me and give me some leeway on this. But this is just kind of what's out there. That there is an understanding between elements of our government and extraterrestrial life. That certain people, that there is a allowance of allowing human beings to be abducted.
Okay.
So, simply because they understand that they really not much they can do to stop them from doing it. So, I think it's probably the better way of them basically saying, "Look, we'll let you do this for some, just don't go crazy with it, so to speak." So, yeah, I do think that there's too many people that claim, they were abducted by aliens and finding foreign material in their body.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good Gavin Newsom way to end homelessness in California.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I just,
sounds like he'd be on board for that one.
Now, I will say there's a lot of people that say this whole UAP stuff is nothing more than just a cover.
Oh, yeah.
For the whole Epstein file debacle that's going on right now, that is completely just dragging down this administration and how that was handled. Obviously there is some international pedophile ring that is allowed to operate with impunity. And I mean, I would hate to know that there are people that are complicit and just knowingly allowing it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just so big and so widespread that it's literally, where do you even begin?
Yeah.
Because the people that you need to act on this can't, because they themselves are compromised,
Yeah.
or they fear for their lives,
Yeah.
or their families' lives, which I can understand.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, if it's easy to sit there and scream that, hey, you need to release all this,
Yeah.
but little do you know, how about if it was you're the one that could pull the trigger, and your family
Yeah.
could be impacted by that.
Yeah.
You know, do you? Is it easier to just kind of turn your head
Yep.
and try to minimize it as best as you can,
Yeah.
and understand that there's evil in this world, that there'll always be evil in this world, and
The sad part is you're probably right about that.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah, I do. I firmly believe that there are probably many good people
yeah.
that are labeled complicit, or
Yes.
allowing this, don't really know the full story of this stuff. And I
Right.
know that's hard for some people to hear, because that righteousness kind of rises up and on, and you know, we got to root out the evil and root out the corruption. And I think at times, I just think it's so deep that short of basically an apocalypse,
Yeah.
I personally don't think, just like I've said, I don't think the U.S. government can be saved from itself. I think it's so compromised, and I believe there are many international governments that are so compromised
Yeah.
that you don't have enough people that could truly fix
Right.
the problem. I really don't.
You got to start over.
Yeah.
Well, the question is, the only way you start over is you literally, I mean, short of an uprising
Yeah.
and civil war where everything disintegrates
Yeah.
and a new political order arises out of that, I don't see. Right now, all you're doing is manipulating the margins. You're not really changing the core problem of what's
what
going
was that
on.
Ronald Reagan statement? You need to change diapers and politicians often for the same reason. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's that reason?
It's full, gets full of shit.
They're full of shit. That's right. And we're at that point now. We have to do something about it. We have to tell these politicians, and people have got to stop using the word leader. They're not our leaders. They are our representatives. And we've got to take that back. And I think it's going to be something major that does that. And
We're approaching 250 years since the Declaration of
I
Independence.
find it interesting that our 250th birthday, and then all of a sudden, all this stuff about UAPs is coming out.
Yeah.
And
I think that I was talking with a friend of mine recently about some of that stuff, and I was like, man, 250 years. And I think that our forefathers would probably be
turning over in their
very
graves.
upset with the way things have been, how things have slowly evolved. I know this isn't like a true analogy, but people still use it as like the frog in the boiling water in the pot, slowly getting to a critical point, and it's what I feel like is happening. I don't think. I mean, yes, there are. I think there are some like pin moments where you can say these are where things change. This is where things change. But I do think that it's been a gradual process. Getting comfortable with this, getting okay with talking about that, getting okay not saying this, and slowly but surely getting to where we are right now. But that's crazy.
I mean, there's a lot. I think more and more is going to come out.
Oh,
on
yeah.
this. I think we're not done with this. This is something we're going to be hearing about.
Yeah.
Be very curious about this UAP disclosure and what all this is. Trump promises he's going to declassify all this and order the defense, the War Department to to release whatever classified.
Yeah.
But my understanding, they've already kind of passed the deadline. So I think there are forces that are going to resist, or they may give superfluous type information and not really the information. Because I was listening to one guy, he was saying, what I want to see is I want you to release the classified interviews with actual pilots who saw these objects,
Right.
saw them operate,
Well,
do
even the
things.
Apollo guys saw stuff.
Do
and
things,
they got shut down.
Do things that obviously defy our normal understanding of how physics operates. I mean, the idea of objects instantaneously starting from zero to hypersonic speeds at a split second.
Yeah.
That as of right now, that's just beyond our material science of what materials could withstand that.
That's true, but what if it goes into? We had some conversations with X-Man about what if it's mental? What if it's consciousness? What if they've gone to this to where they don't need to worry about what the materials are? What if it's all conscious powered? What if it's something else, even beyond our understanding?
Well, it could be, and I do know. I mean, you had mentioned it earlier that some of these people have been working on anti-grav, and I think our country has been working on anti-grav technology probably since World War II.
Well, since they got the Nazis
and
bells and stuff.
Now, if they have mastered anti-grav, then I could see them producing propulsion systems. In essence, if you in essence put like an anti-grav bubble around an object, then of course it's like being out in space.
Yeah.
Then you can immediately
no inertia. Yeah.
There's nothing slowing you down. So, maybe there could be some connection with that, but
well, one of the questions I got for you guys is if there's nothing suspicious about this that's going on, why are members of Congress asking all of these questions now? These are members of Congress coming out and asking questions. Obviously, because they're asking these questions does not prove a conspiracy, but it does mean that the issue has moved beyond random internet threads.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is like serious. What's going on?
I mean, no,
we got some serious questions about these people.
There's congressional testimony, so this is not hidden. This is not kind of weird stuff. This is actually people having congressional hearings with Congress. People talking to these people going, have you seen UAPs? Have you seen this? Have you seen that? Yes, no. This is this. This is that. So this is stuff that's out there. I mean, this is not made up. This is real. And we have to, I think we need to wrap our minds around that this is real now. I know I was listening to one congressman, I can't think of his name right now, but he mentioned on an interview, he goes, if people knew what I have seen, it would keep them up all night.
Oh yeah,
they wouldn't sleep.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you know?
I mean,
you better keep yourself quiet, or you're going to get disappeared.
I just think, to me, that's what I'm saying. If you've mastered directed energy weapons, you could be attacked. You would not know what's going on. You wouldn't. You'd just be sitting in your house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I
think we've mentioned our buddy Brandon, who's been on a couple episodes. And I think the most recent one that he was on a couple years back, I think he talked about that kind of stuff where he was like, I was developing some sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And he said he was...
And he's like, I got approached by foreign people and I turned them down, and all of a sudden some things started going not so well for me in a lot of ways, secretly. And I'm not going to tell his story for him, but again, even in his field, he said it outright. He
was attacked by some sort of energy weapon,
right? And so it's like that was a couple years ago. So
right.
Let alone,
I mean, this
who knows?
goes back, and I think when he said that actually happened, that happened like a long time ago,
right? That's what I'm saying.
So it wasn't like recent,
yeah.
I think unfortunately these people know things.
Mm-hmm.
who knows? You never know what conversations they say. They could be having a crisis of conscience because I can't, in good faith continue with this stuff. Know what y'all going to do with it?
Yeah, I can't pretend like I don't know.
And then I says, I can almost see it in a conference room saying, I'm going to go talk about this.
Yeah.
And then mysteriously, somehow, they leave their keys and they
no,
leave
you
their
don't.
phone, and they died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Well,
his car burned up in flames.
His car burned up in flames. So
Okay.
it just happens to be these people in these fields. Okay, well, I don't want to be too much of a conspiracy theorist, but I think there's some legs to this thing
I
here.
don't know what's wrong with being a conspiracy theorist. Right now, they're up 72-0.
Well, Stoney, you are, I would venture to say you're probably on good solid ground with that right now. That, keep pushing the envelope, and I just think I think people don't want to go there.
Right.
I think it frightens people.
Yeah.
If they really knew the world, I think it would frighten people. I think people have a self-constructed view of reality. And if I shake that up, that puts me in a bad place.
Yeah. You don't want to live in fear. It's pretty easy, I feel like, to what if and to like get yourself worked up and stuff like that. So sometimes I feel like ignorance is bliss in that regard.
Well, they want to live in their own safe little bubble.
Yeah. Exactly.
And don't pop my bubble.
So
yeah, I just...
It's interesting.
Yep.
I think you're right, though. I think this is just the beginning of what we're probably going to hear some more about this later.
Oh, I think so.
I
Especially on this show.
Welcome
to the Retrospect podcast.
You're right.
We've got some bubbles to pop for you today.
I'll basically I like that last scene of the first season of the X-Files.
Okay.
When Mulder is talking to obviously some high up, guy in some secret part of the government, and I think he indicates, goes, are they here? And the guy says they've always been here.
Wow. Scary.
So
yeah, buckle up. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. If you want to try and give us your suggestions or your comments on what you think about this episode, or again, if you want to hear something specifically, we got some comment sections on YouTube and on Spotify where you can leave some more short-form responses. Our email address is getoffendedtogether@gmail.com, where you can send some more long-form responses. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen, or whatever your favorite platform is. We're most likely on it. Try and find us. And share the episode or share the show with someone that you think would also be equally interested or just as frustrated as you about this show or these topics. And until next week, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone, and God bless.
We're not here to crown every tragedy a conspiracy, but we're also not here to pat our listeners on the head and say, move along, nothing to see here. When scientists, engineers, doctors, and researchers tied to sensitive work start showing up dead or missing, the adult thing to do is ask better questions, not louder ones. The question is not whether every shadow is a monster. The question is whether we still have the courage to turn on the light. Thank you for joining us here today. You're the best. Peace.